Slowly, slowly. Squat down.
Leaving Glencore, we are heading towards Isle of Skye, an island northwest coast of Scotland. One of the most beautiful places in Scotland, but our times there wasn't really a smooth sailing one. It was about a 3-hour drive to the island, and the journey throughout was mostly scenic, as I had mentioned countless of times in this travel series.
Recorded, okay?
Along the way, we stopped over at Ailean Donnan Castle, probably considered as one of the most iconic and visited castles here. It's literally situated on an island at the intersection of 3 sea lochs, and it's not hard to see why it is so popular, as the sight of the castle rising above the lake with the backdrop of mountains is just magical. A castle you can only imagine from fairy tale. The first fortified castle was built in the 13th century. Along the way, it was destroyed and later restored and reopened in the early 1900s. We didn't actually pay and enter the castle, just took a few pictures outside and continued with our journey. There are actually many places to explore along the way if you are spending more days in the Highlands. And did I mention that we had so much rainbows encountered in this trip? We easily seen as much as 10 of them in a single day on the road. Apparently, it's a natural phenomenon due to the combination of the mountain terrain, proximity to the sea, and prevailing west winds, which bring in moisture and create a change in condition of both rains and sunshine. The perfect ingredient for rainbows. And this is how often the weather conditions change just a few hours on the road. Soon we crossed the bridge and reached the island. There are quite a few hotels and Airbnb selection. Personally, I suggest staying near or within Portree, the main town and capital of the island. Not only that it's more convenient in terms of amenities, it is also strategically located in the center of most places of interest. We got the good life. We got the good life. And this is what it feels like. We got the good life. The good life. A beautiful town with mountains view and a small fishing harbour. The town centre is actually quite small despite being the biggest town in the island. I think we were quite lucky the island was not crowded during our stay, as the island is a very popular tourist destination. Our Airbnb is just 5 minutes walk from the town centre. Hiding at the corner of the outer edge of the town, I think it is nice to have the convenience and yet still enjoy the peace.
Let's go.
Only on this light. Well, in the room. Here's the bathroom. Bathroom over here.
Oh. So there's a bathroom over here.
But this. and then this is where Emma's gonna sleep. Or like I'm not even moving the door. I think this.
Old Man of Storr is known as the most iconic landscape in the island. Many claim that you haven't been to Skye if you haven't seen the Old Man of Storr. There are many different tales in regards to this natural stone formation, one of which say it's a thumb of a giant sticking out as it was buried under the ridge. It's basically a 5.3km loop trail just 20 minutes away from Portree. Generally regarded as a moderate difficulty trail. It should take around 1 to 2 hours to complete depending on your fitness level. The scenery throughout the whole trail is just breathtaking.
All the way up.
My initial plan was to finish the walk on the other side of the structure, where the view really looked amazing. However, we did not make it as it was getting dark and we still need to make our way down. I'm pretty sure we were the last one in the trail during our descent.
Scarecrow 好像很靠近我们，来，跟我吧。哦，这是什么？欧美哦，欧美好瘦哦。哇，走嘞！
对吧？其实这种还是。
put my hand.
Questions you would like you've just been living off the wet wipes.
And Scampi. this weather was the worst throughout our entire UK trip. In fact, the weather forecast had issued a strong wind warning. Of course, by now you would already know that the weather did not stop us from exploring the island, but it did deter us from where we wanted to go. Korean Walk is on the top of my to-do list, but it will take around 3 to 4 hours to complete the trail, and there are some parts which is pretty steep, so I decided to drop it due to the weather forecast. Our first stop was the Fairy Glen. It's a 25 minutes drive from our place. Most of the roads here outside town area are two-way single track, only wide enough for a vehicle to pass. And every now and then there will be this passing area wide enough for 2 vehicles to pass. So basically we just need to use our common sense and give way accordingly. Our driving experience here in the island had been very pleasant, and also we had the pleasure of meeting other residents on the island.
过来，你没看到？你看过来，一起想，每个都是看着我了。你看，你看着我。
Boy, you like your little?
Hello, bye.
Despite the rain, we decided to go ahead as it was a relatively easy and short loop trail. The current unique landscape of the Fairy Glen was contributed by volcanic activities over 60 million years ago. Landslide and subsequent erosion had further transformed it to what it is today. And the most iconic rock formation named Castle Ewan had invited countless of visitors to climb to the peak. I think this place is such an easy recommendation to anyone visiting the island, as it is a relatively easy walk to witness such magical landscape formation. Unexpectedly, the Scottish weather had lightened up, so we decided to attempt the peak of Castle Ewan.
Wait. Oh. Hey. Nope.
There's a steep and narrow ridge before reaching the structure. Here was when an unexpected sudden strong gush of wind cut across the ridge, freezing both my wife and daughter as they struggled to balance themselves.
你不要了啊！哎，放大了，哎，你不要抓紧，哎，squat down.
Actually, this was a very scary and helpless moment for me. There was little I can do as I was holding my son against the stone structure to ensure his safety. Luckily, we did get out of the situation, but decided not to proceed to the peak as we were concerned with the sudden change of wind speed. I'm not sure if you can tell from the video, the narrow ridges are really steep in real life. Falling to either side will likely incur some serious injuries. I would like to remind everyone to be more careful, even engaging in a simple trail walk like this. The force of the nature is not something we will be able to assess or anticipate.
Lean to your left side. Eh, 哇，这边很像 Lord of the Ring 哦。找他 brother 俩 family 一样，因为他觉得我们是 trap。
Next on our list was Nice Point Lighthouse. Frankly, this was a bit out of the way, situated across the far west of the island. But the stunning view of the high cliffs and lighthouse is something I really wanted to see.
Oh no!
Unfortunately, the wind condition here on the coast was much worse. It was constantly hitting us like a train. It was so windy that it's painful when the raindrops hit on our face. And my son can hardly hold himself up because of his light weight. We did not complete the walk to see the lighthouse, even though it is a relatively easy walk on concrete path and steps. But it was still a stunning landscape and experience for all of us. We only managed to travel to 2 locations for the day, as we had spent some time driving back to Portree to have lunch and dinner with my mother-in-law. I think most people will be able to easily visit another 2 locations, even with such weather. And even we did not complete what we set to achieve these 2 days, but the most important thing was we enjoyed the entire process together. A priceless memory.